Good morning. Well, I'm here on a Sunday morning in a beautiful backyard, just trying to take a few minutes to relax, hang out. And this is our first opportunity just to be together without any agenda. There's no real teaching, although I always have things on my mind. I'm here really just to reach out to our community, to Valley Beth Shalom, and to the larger community if anyone's out there. And it's an opportunity for a check-in. It's really just an opportunity if you can bring your questions, bring your laughs, bring your cries. It's an opportunity to just spend a few minutes together, about half an hour or so. So I'm here. I'm happy to teach a little bit, but I'm also very happy if you have questions, you just type them in and they'll pop up on the comments, and I'll try to address them in any kind of way. I see Eileen. Good morning, Eileen. I hope you and Dennis are doing okay. I saw Orit and Rabbi Avi on the comments already, so it's nice to see you. And I want to thank Rabbi Avi for all his work yesterday. His Mincha Mariv was very beautiful, and I really appreciate that. And the Shema Kavanah also was really nice this morning. So this is all an experiment. We're trying to experiment how to interact online, Hi, Sheila. Nice to see you. Good morning. Hi, Natalia. Nice to see you all the way on the other side of the world. Always appreciate your likes and your comments. As I said, it's a chance to interact. It's a chance just to be together. It's almost like we're just trying to be in a room together, even though we're all in our own rooms. And so for the next half hour or so, I just don't have an agenda. I always have a few things I want to bring up, and maybe something about Passover, or if you have questions about how you're maintaining yourself in this space, or what are you doing for self-care. So that's kind of what this space is. It's a chance for you to grab that cup of coffee. Maybe you're in your bathrobe, kids are driving you crazy, and just to try and check in as a community. And we're going to try this for a couple weeks, and if this is not the right venue or time, then we'll try another one. So I want to give a shout out to Doran. I see that you're watching, and I hope that you and the family, Marcy, are doing okay. And Effie, loved what you did yesterday with your family. That was really great. It's so nice that you have so much family that you can drive to in an 8-hour period or 12-hour period, whatever it was. So it was really great. And Susan, I see that you're also watching, so I really appreciate that. If you have any questions, comments, you want to just give a shout out, hit a like, a love, or something, just to this is just an open-ended check-in time, and just been thinking a lot about how do we connect in this time, right? So, I think about it in terms of my mother-in-law is a quilter, and she, oh, hi, Alana, nice to see you. Really appreciate, and thank you for those resources, by the way, and I'm going to keep interrupting myself as I see people come on. So, thank you for those resiliency resources. We'll go over them Tuesday night and try to get them out to the community. So I've been thinking a lot. My mother-in-law is a quilter, and one of the greatest things that she has done over for my kids is to take various clothes from when they were babies, nice ones that we loved, rip them apart and restitch them together, stuff them with batting, and it becomes a quilt. And almost every one of my kids has a quilt that incorporates some kind of baby blanket or a onesie or something, and I just can't help but think about that this is kind of a moment that we're in, is in this cutting apart and restitching back together again. It's that is the question, right, that we're at. This virus, this pandemic has really been a stitch ripper for all of us. And for me, the question that is just so prescient and so important is how do we restitch this community, both VBS and the global Jewish community and the global community. How do we restitch back together and to incorporate what was before into what is now and what will be? Okay, so that's kind of my general question, and just been trying to experiment and iterate. So I want to give a shout out to Howard. I see you. I love watching you and love being with you for Lunch and Learn, so it's really good. And Jane, I see you too, and I really appreciate you checking in. Just let me know how you guys are. Type it in. Let me know what you're dealing with, and I'm happy to to respond. Marcy, I see you, and thank you for the appreciation. I think it's really important. There's just not enough gratitude in the world right now, and there needs to be an overabundance of gratitude to help each other out. And Randy, I see you too. So really, thank you. Arash is a member of our community, wonderful young family. Recommendations for Passover. So we are just in general. I just want to put that out there. We're going to be rolling out a lot of Passover content in the next few days, but just to give you a few updates, we're going to figure out how to do at least 1, 2, or 3 community seders that you can tap into, and they can be, for example, an early childhood seder or an adult seder or a teen seder, and we're going to basically on the day that Passover begins, put them out there for you to either watch live with us or be able to have it recorded so you have some kind of material. In addition, we'll have a ton of downloadable coloring and sticker books and all sorts of DIY stuff that we're going to be putting out there too. My number one recommendation, though, for all of you for Passover at home is that you just can't have your large family there. I wish you could. I wish we could. I mean, we were supposed to go to New York to see my niece and nephews, but that's just not possible. And so think about what a Seder would look like for 4 people or 6 people, depending on how many people live in your house. And then how do you use technology to bring other people in? I just can't help but think that, like, there's a question about whether you delay or cancel Passover or move it off. And I'm more of the camp of let's figure out how to do Passover on the night that is most important to us and reach across community by doing that. I can tell you that, and this is kind of more of a deeper dive here for a minute, that maybe for the first time in modern history, for all of my Jewish community members out there, it's time to take the Passover Seder maybe a little bit more seriously, and I don't mean like without humor, I just mean in terms of the responsibility. It's always been the responsibility of the parents to teach children about Passover and Passover rituals, and to really teach these kids that in every generation we're supposed to see ourselves as liberated from Egypt. And maybe talk a little bit about what that was like, because the Passover Seder is the night before liberation. That's actually how it works, is that you begin the Seder and you begin in this place where you're getting ready to go out. And so it's called Le'el Shmorim in Hebrew, the night of keeping watch. And maybe we take that responsibility a little bit more seriously, and that you carry the covenant for your family, Arash, in this night, and that you lead them through this process that gives them hope that tomorrow will be better than yesterday, which has always been the Jewish message. One of the first religions in the world to promise a future that's better than yesterday. So those are my thoughts about Passover just today, and I'm sure they'll change tomorrow, and there'll be lots of resources coming out. I see Sharon is on with us, at least for a minute or two, and I appreciate you being here. Again, this is just a check-in. If you have any questions, please type them in. If you just want to let us know that you're here and you care, give a shout out to someone or hit a like or a love button. There's no agenda. It's just me answering questions and trying to be together for the next half hour or so. And if this is the right model, let us know. If you would like to see something different, we are experimenting with Google and Zoom and all sorts of other pieces of technology. So if this is the right model, let us know. And if you'd like a different model, also let us know, because we're all trying to stitch this community together, and we're trying to figure out what it is. We're trying to figure out what the best model is for it. So, I'm here. I'm here to answer your questions. I'm here to just say hello, give me a wave, give me a shout. We're here as a community. I can give you a couple little updates on what we've been doing. So VBS has about 1,500 families, and in the last 8 or 9 days since this has happened, we've gotten these orders to sort of separate from each other, our lay leaders, our administrative staff, and our clergy have called every single one of those families. That means we've made 1,500 phone calls, and that we've checked in with every single one of our members. And it's just one of the values of being a member, is that you know that you're going to get that phone call. And the truth is that we're going to do it again. And we're going to do it again, and we're going to do it again, and we're going to do it again. So if you get that phone call from us, pick up the phone and tell us how you're doing, because that's how we know. We don't have those natural places like at drop-off or at pickup where you can just bump into someone and check in and laugh and talk about the game. Everything that we took for granted before, that was just a happening, a happenstance, a bumping in, a running into, now has to be done with intention. In Hebrew, we call that with kavanah. And our community has to go from being just a membership, coming together community just because we happen to live in the same area, to now becoming an intentional community, a community that is driven by mission and intention. So that takes a little bit more energy. And I know all of us are struggling with that energy because, especially if you have kids at home, or maybe you have a parent, or you yourself are elderly, you have to take care of your physical needs and the physical needs of your family, let alone the psychological need. But the truth is that if anything that is worth doing, anything that is worth building, anything that is worth stitching together, takes intention and energy. And that's what we need from you. And that's what you need from me. And so I'm willing to put myself out there. I know all the other rabbis and clergy members and administrative staff are all willing to put their energy out there to try to build this community with intention, with direction, and with mission. And that is our ask of you, is that to have the same partnership. And that's true for no matter what you do. We know that because we have to figure out how to work together. You have to figure out how to manage together. You have to figure out how to manage your kids and do teaching. And all of us have outsourced a lot of these skills to other people, and now we realize that we have to actually insource so much. So those are all just some thoughts about that, and I know that we'll get through it. I'm very optimistic. I believe in the human spirit. I believe in the godly spirit, and I know that those two in partnership are an unstoppable force. And we've been through terrible things before as a community and as individuals, and we'll get through this too. But what it takes more than anything else is this sense of being together. And which is why we're here, which is why I've been trying to, today's our first sort of coffee and check-in. So if you have a cup of coffee, take a sip. If you're in your bathrobe or you're sitting in your sweats, that's great. But let us know how you're doing. Let us know what your questions are. Let us know what you'd like to see. Like, are there any types of programming or learning that you'd like coming out? As I said, Passover is coming very soon, and we are rolling out this week a lot of our new Passover material. Some of it will actually has been recorded from years past, and we still think it's valuable. We're reviewing all of that, and that's all going to come out. Just in general, if you want to find resources, you can always go to our website, vbs.org. Tons of resources there. In addition, specifically around this initiative, VBS at Home, Valley B'Shalom at Home, there's a click on the front of the webpage. You can also go to vbs.org/VBS at Home, and you'll be able to see that too. And some of those programs include Minyan every morning and every evening. There's a Coffee and Kavanah every weekday around 8:45 a.m., so a little chance to 5-10 minutes to just start your day with a little intention, again, as we move towards this more intentional community. There's a lunchtime program almost every day, and those are usually either learning or some music or what have you. And then in the evening, we have evening minyan, and then after that, there's some kind of educational program. So, for example, Monday night is Rabbi Feinstein is doing a wine tasting with our good friend Cantor Keith Miller, who is also a wine purveyor, so he's going to be doing a fun little thing on a Monday night. Tuesday night, I'm going to start teaching about Passover. Wednesday night, Rabbi Feinstein has his new initiative called In the Rabbi's Study, which is he'll be interviewing other rabbis around the country. Thursday night, our master of Musar, Rabbi Joshua Hoffman, will be teaching a class on Musar. And then always Friday night, we'll have Kabbalat Shabbat, and on Saturday morning will be Torah study, and Saturday night will be Havdalah. So that is, and then on Sundays will be this check-in. So that's our general plan, is to have something about 3 times a day, whatever works for you, morning, lunchtime, or evening. In addition, and since I saw Alana Epstein on, I'm going to give her a shout-out as part of our So Healthy Together initiative, which is our now multi-year initiative on mental health in the congregation. Our counseling center is setting up 2 times, I believe on Wednesdays, for support groups. And this will be a non-confidential, non-therapeutic, but open community forum with therapists to talk about your anxieties, and they'll be on Wednesday mornings and Wednesday evenings. So that's our current So Healthy Together rollout. Will be with the counseling center, which we've had now for 48 years at VBS, a counseling center that's part of our community that has paracounselors and therapists that do therapy one-on-one and in groups. And since I know that they're taking clients individually, and those are therapeutic sessions, and you have to contact them directly at that. But in general, we're also going to be hosting 2 open forums during the week on Wednesdays. One, I believe, in the early part of the day, maybe like 10 o'clock, and one in the evening, like 8 o'clock p.m., if you need to get online. And that will be done through probably Zoom. And the Zoom link should be coming out in the next day or so. So that's something that we're also doing to try to support a community, is knowing that it's not just about learning or praying, but it's also about creating support. So anyway, and then again, in this forum is more of a general conversation, checking in with one of us and hosting your questions. So if you have questions and things you'd like to say, or just let us know that you're out there. If you're wandering across the internet and you find the Valley Beshalom page, let us know that you're here, because what we're looking for is trying to just reach out. So I see Joy Krauthammer was on with us for a few minutes. I appreciate that. Rabbi Bill Kaplan, I really hope that your camp is doing okay, the JCA Shalom. We love JCA Shalom at VBS, and we really hope that you and your family are safe and that your camp is doing okay and all the animals are being taken care of. Matt Waterman, I saw was on. I really appreciate that. I really, really, really appreciate you being and supporting and being a part of that. So I definitely, I'm happy that you're with us. And Alana looks like she made a comment, so I really appreciate that. Take a look at her comment about her page that she's working on. So please take a look. Guy, I see you. It's nice to see you. I get to see you a few times a year, so it's really nice that you're here. Marcy was asking about Pesach Sheni, which is a really interesting thing. That's really, 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 really interesting, because this idea that if you can't celebrate Passover on the night of Passover, we delay it by a couple of weeks and maybe do it then. And that's a really interesting question and something that we're trying to figure out. And I think we're still going to roll with Passover now, and maybe we'll do with Passover Sheni, maybe we'll do Passover Shlishi. It's really hard to know. Cameron, I see that you're on, or that you've been on. I really appreciate it. Cameron is our youth engagement director. She has been hosting meetups and hangouts with various teens in our community from 6th grade and on, basically. So really appreciate that. I know that they've been a lot of fun, and we have Teen Tuesday every Tuesday night with Cameron. And then if you have a Jewish teen who needs a place to hang out with other Jewish teens, we've been hosting kids from other synagogues as well. We play Kahoot, we hang out with rabbis, we do some teaching, and we just check in with everyone. And Cameron's really become a master of that. Arash, I see what you're saying about it feeling like the ultimate diaspora. It is really sad, but that means that we have historic muscles for this, Arash. We've been in diaspora for thousands of years. We are only the first generation. You and I are the first generation of Jews who both live in the diaspora and have the state of Israel that feels like home. So we actually have 2 homes. So I find that we have old muscles, and we just have to learn how to flex those old muscles again. And that means that we have to reach across, use our intention, bring people together, sing together, learn together, laugh together. Sheila, I saw your comment about rescheduling the bat mitzvah in August. So one of the things we've been thinking a lot about is with b'nai mitzvah is, does a bar bat mitzvah kid read this Torah portion or read the new Torah portion? It's really challenging. So like, let's say we do a bar mitzvah that was supposed to be this weekend and we do it in December. And does that child start the process over again? And I think for every family, they'll make their own decision. Some families want to maybe learn a new Torah portion so it feels bisman, like in their reading cycle, and some want to retain what they had before. And we're working with each family individually to decide what that is. And we really want to be able to just try to help people celebrate. I see Gloria is on, and I love you, Gloria. Haven't seen you in so long, and so all the work that you've done helping our community, and now it's our chance to help you. So we want to just reach across. I see Dr. Siebold is also watching, and I hope you and your family are staying safe. You're just around the corner, so maybe I'll come over and knock on your door and say hello to you from across the street. And Amy and Victor and Ari, I see all of you. Ari, I saw you walking down the street yesterday, and or day before, and I was gonna stop and say hi, but you were immersed in a conversation. Also, one of my neighbors, Amy. I hope you and the family. We were taking a walk around the neighborhood yesterday, and we were deciding whether or not to knock on your door again and to hang out on the street and see you guys. You just let us know if that's something that you want, and we're happy to do that. Victor, I want to wish you mazel tov on your daughter's bat mitzvah. Sorry you couldn't be there. I personally couldn't be there, but from what my wife tells me, it was just really a beautiful event. So to Kimberly and to you and to Maddie and Joe, I just want to say mazel tov to you, and I hope that you're celebrating in some way. So I really hope that you're doing okay. So there was a question about the adult B'nai Mitzvah class. I don't have the answer for that, Marcy. We usually celebrate all of our adult B'nai Mitzvah on one Shabbat, on the Shabbat of Pesach, on the Shabbat of Passover. We have a meeting tomorrow, so I'll check in specifically and get back to you about that. Shoshana, I hope you're doing well. It's really, really nice to see you. I hope you and your family are doing okay. Just let us know how things are. It's just a chance for you to check in right now and just to let us know. And tell us what else you'd like to see. What is it that you feel like you're missing that we can help? Because Judaism is best, religion is best, and Judaism, from my tradition, is best when we're able to answer the actual questions of life. And that is what religion is. It's a response to the ultimate questions. And if you have questions, things that come up for you about how to live, how to work through this, how to create community, that's what we're all trying to figure out. And that we have answers. Judaism has thousands and thousands of years of answers to the questions that just never go away. And that the questions might seem new to us, but the truth is that they're just new. They're the same questions in new clothing. And it's just a chance for us to really just be together and to try to teach. Guy is asking a question: why do the VBS staff celebrate stuff like Shabbat with each other instead of sheltering in place? Really good question, Guy. So as the orders keep changing, we keep changing. So the last thing that we were told was that no more than 10 people in a home, and so that was the rule that we participated in. Although I understand maybe as late as last night, I have to check this morning about whether that means now that that's taken to the next level, in which case we are looking at another system where maybe we could do a Zoom call or a Google thing that's also on Facebook that we can all be together. So it's tough. It's tough. Hi, Nancy. I see that you're here, and I hope you and your husband are doing well, and that your kids and grandkids are doing okay, and just know that we miss you. Hi, Yael. Hey, Eric. I had a question I wanted to ask you, Eric, maybe for another time, but I hope you're doing okay across the street and are enjoying some time with your family, and also keep fighting the good fight. Dias Castro. I've never met you before, but hi, good to see you from Los Angeles. I hope everyone in New York is doing okay. I'm very concerned. I have family there, and so I'm always concerned about them. And just know that you'll have a family out here too. And if you need anything, you just let us know. I see Claire is watching, and Debbie. Debbie, thank you for the hike recommendation. I'm definitely going to go check it out. But if I broadcast out what it is, everyone's going to go. So I don't want to. Debbie lives up the north end of the valley and took a beautiful photo and sent it out of some beautiful green mountains and things. I'm definitely going to go check that out when I have a few minutes. Amy, I'm definitely going to stop by. Mark, it's good to see you. Hi, Alana. Really nice to see you, too. Thank you, Alana Vorspan, who's our communications director. She's the one who's been behind helping us create the schedule, coordinating, and putting a lot of the the technology to make sure that we are continuing to iterate in our digital space. In addition, we also have Alana Zimmerman, who is our program director, who has been coordinating a lot of the program content side. Andrew Pelter, who's our director of IT for both the temple and the whole campus, really for the school too, really working hard. And Melissa, who ran our innovation lab at the school. So a lot of the screens and things you're seeing are actually from our innovation lab, because we've been able to. I went in and raided the closet before we got on lockdown. And you should just know that if you're a member of VBS, we have dozens of employees that are all taking their time now to try to figure out how to best support you in your Jewish life in this new environment. Whether it's creating online hangouts or broadcasting or doing the technology piece or helping us design DIY educational experiences, which will all be coming out, or trying to figure out how to do physical movement, whether it's a day school teacher or a coach or a youth director or a rabbi or just the administrators that are just spending all of our time trying to look at what does an online synagogue look like, knowing that we are so close to each other and yet feeling so far away. You're welcome, Alana. And I just want to say that I only have a few minutes left because I have to do an online wedding in a few minutes, believe it or not. I just take a deep breath. I look at the sky. I see the clouds. I see the blueness peeking through. I hear the birds chirping, which is why I'm wearing earphones. I see the green grass growing. I see my jasmine in my backyard is starting to bud, and in a week and a half or 2 weeks, it will bloom. And so it just reminds me that even in this time where things feel so separate and so distant, that there's still beauty, and there's still wonder, and there's still mystery, and there's still meaning, and there's each other. And so as you go into today, please remember, especially if you're a member of our community, that we are here for you, and we care about you, and we're checking in on you as much as we can. And just encourage you to also check in on each other, check in on yourselves, on your family, have a little bit of patience with each other, and look for those moments of beauty. Instead of looking at the ground as dead and gone, look for those buds that are coming up. Looking for those seeds that are blooming into flowers. Looking for a future that's more beautiful than the past. And so I want to give love to everyone, give shout outs to everyone that I see, and wish you a beautiful day. And we'll check in again.